Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we usually take your sources, articles, notes, whatever you send us, and, pull out those key nuggets of knowledge just for you. But today is really different. You sent over this file, Korol Voroniv-Nora Sakavic.txt, and normally, yeah, we'd be digging into the content, but this time, well, the file itself is the puzzle. It sort of invites us to think about what happens when information just breaks down. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, that's fascinating. What jumps out immediately is that while we have the file, we can't actually read it. Not in any normal sense. It's a text file, sure. But what you see on screen are these weird character sequences, like that double backtick thing or the symbol. It's not a language as we know it. It looks like data corruption, or probably more accurately, an encoding problem.
Encoding? Like a secret code?
Sort of, but more technical. Think of it like your computer needing the right dictionary to turn the ones and zeros into letters. If the file was written using, say, a Cyrillic dictionary, but your computer tries to read it with a standard English one, you get this garbled text.
Ah, okay.
So the big question this throws up is, what can we possibly learn? What can we deep dive into when the information itself is basically missing, absent?
That is the fascinating twist, isn't it? Honestly, my first reaction was, okay, well, nothing to dive into here then.
Right.
You sent this file, we were all set to go, open it up, and nothing. Not English, not French, not anything recognizable, just these strange repeating symbols.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. How do we find insights in what feels like a digital dead end?
Well, it forces us to look differently, doesn't it? The fact that certain patterns, like those symbols, repeat, that's a clue.
Yep.
It strongly suggests it was meaningful text once. Maybe, like I said, garbled Cyrillic, or some other non-Western script that got mangled somewhere along the way.
Okay.
So the nugget of knowledge here isn't in the text. It's about the problem itself.
Yeah.
Data integrity,
Mm-hmm.
or the lack of it. The real insight today is about how fragile digital information actually is. It needs constant care, proper standards like universal encoding, just to stay readable, things we totally take for granted. This little file, it's like a tiny warning sign about, a potential digital dark age if we're not careful with our data.
Wow. Yeah, it's like that message in a bottle analogy, but worse.
How so?
Like, it's not just that the ink ran, it's like the bottle itself shattered on the rocks before it got here, or the paper just dissolved into mush.
Exactly. The medium failed.
You know the message existed, conceptually, but it's just gone, irretrievable. Although the file name you mentioned, Korol-Voroniv-Nora-Sakavic.txt, that is readable.
Mm-hmm. It's the one piece.
It kind of hints at something, right? Like Raven King and a name Nora Sakavic. It's tantalizing. That's all we have.
Just that little breadcrumb.
Now, you listening might be thinking, okay, an unreadable file. Why should I care? I mean, we're all swimming in information overload most days, but what about the flip side? Information starvation. When something exists, but you just can't access it. What's the real impact of that kind of silence?
Oh, it connects to so much. If you zoom out from just this one file, it really underscores how fragile our information systems are. It's not just theory. Think about vital hospital records becoming unreadable after a software update, or historical data getting corrupted when moved to a new system.
Yeah, that's worrying.
I actually lost a whole bunch of holiday photos once because of a hard drive issue. Sounds trivial, maybe, but it was gutting. It's a painful lesson in backups and, digital fragility.
Yes.
Or think about ancient languages. We have texts, but if we can't decipher this script, it's like they're corrupted by time itself, lost knowledge. So this file, it's a small example, but it points to this huge ongoing problem. It affects everything from personal stuff to, global knowledge.
That is kind of chilling when you put it like that. All the potential insights, the stories, maybe critical facts, just locked away, unreachable. It really makes you think, doesn't it? That information isn't just about what's said, but whether it can even be heard or understood at the other end.
Precisely. And that shifts the focus of this deep dive, really.
Yeah.
We're learning from the absence of content. The big takeaway becomes the hidden value of all the background stuff. Good data management, preservation techniques, universal encoding standards. Things we totally rely on but rarely think about. We spend so much time arguing about what information means, but this forces us to ask, can we even read it now?
Yeah.
In 5 years? 50 years.
That's a really good point. The aha moment isn't just the content, it's the how. How are we even able to read anything?
Exactly. It's about the infrastructure.
Yeah, that invisible structure. It makes you question the whole digital setup we depend on. Beyond just what a text says, are our systems actually, robust enough? Are the global standards strong enough to make sure something we save today is readable tomorrow or on a completely different device? It feels like this quiet, ongoing battle that this one little corrupted file suddenly makes very loud and clear.
It is. It's a fundamental challenge. It requires foresight, long-term thinking about preserving information. This file isn't just unreadable text. It's like a silent alarm bell. It reminds us there's all this active, often invisible work needed to stop the digital ocean becoming a digital desert of lost data.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you, listening in? Well, this deep dive didn't give us facts from the file about, the Raven King or Nora Sakavic. Instead, it sort of lit up the stage behind the information. It showed us how important and how fragile accessibility is, and all those quiet technologies that make sharing knowledge even possible.
Yeah. In a world just drowning in information, maybe this kind of deep dive is a good reminder that truly understanding knowledge isn't only about consuming the content, it's also about appreciating the very possibility of it being read and understood. It's about that hidden architecture, the scaffolding that lets us connect with ideas across time and digital space.
So here's a thought to leave you with. The next time you click a link, open a document, and the text just appears. Think about the complex, silent systems working behind the curtain to make that happen so smoothly. And maybe ask, what other hidden, unreadable challenges are lurking out there? And what important lessons might they hold for how we manage, preserve, and value knowledge in this digital age?